Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of Chandi Chats. I'm very excited to film this first episode because I get to talk about my most favorite thing in the entire world, which is Disney. Since moving to Hong Kong, one of the things that I miss the most is my Disney and Disneyland. I left behind a lot of my favorite Disney things such as t-shirts, movies, CDs, and of course Disneyland. Disney brought joy to my life when I felt sad, anger, or even bored. Disneyland was like my second home, and I always had a great time going, whether with friends, family, or just by myself walking around different lands in the parks. Because I miss my Disney things and Disneyland so much, I decided to do the Disney tag. This Disney tag consists of 15 questions. Let's get started. A scene in any Disney movie you wish you could experience. My favorite Disney movie of all time is Peter Pan, and one thing I would love to experience is Peter Pan when he flies over London with Wendy, John, and Michael and Tinkerbell. An unforgettable experience moment you had at the parks. I have 3 unforgettable moments at Disneyland. The first moment was when I was a sophomore in high school and I went to Disneyland for the first time with Jade, Michiko, and our friend Elisa. We were waiting in line at Splash Mountain and Elisa and Jade were taking a photo of each other. I was standing behind Jade and Michiko was standing behind me. Somehow, I looked at the camera and Michiko was looking at the camera as well. So we took this really stalker photo. A couple of years later, when we were freshmen in college, we decided to recreate that photo. But the original photo beats nothing. It was like the best, most awkward photo ever. The second most memorable moment I had at Disneyland was this past June. I went to Disneyland with my cousins. We had a 4-day trip, so we alternated Disneyland and California Adventures. On our last day, we went to Disneyland. I really wanted to take a picture with Peter Pan. If you guys didn't know, Peter Pan is one of the most hardest characters to find because he just wanders around the park and he does whatever he wants. And I knew that one of his places that he hung out was at Snow White's wishing well. So moments of the day, we would go by Snow White's wishing well and see if he was there, but he wasn't. So towards around maybe 2 or 3 o'clock, I kind of gave up. It was around, I think 3 or 4, we decided to get Dole Whip because we were so tired and it was a really hot day. So we got Dole Whip and we were just sitting around. And then my cousin Nicole and I, we decided to go to the Fantasy Fair and try to get a picture with Rapunzel and Flynn Rider. But by the time it was going to be our turn, they were going to switch to Belle, I think. And we already took a picture with Belle at Ariel's Grotto. So we decided to leave the line. And we were walking in front of the castle, and I was headed towards one of the benches where my cousin Nelanie and my aunt were sitting and resting. Nicole was like, "Oh, don't you want to go by the wishing well and see if Peter Pan was there?" So I was like, "Oh, okay," because I thought I kind of gave up already. But we went over there, and Peter Pan was there. He was waiting by the wishing well. It was Philly Pan, by the way, in case you didn't know. Fans of Peter Pan and cast members, they name or nickname different Peter Pans in order to differentiate their personalities and the person who plays them. So it was Philly Pan, and Philly Pan is adorable. Unfortunately, they blocked off the area of the wishing well and around in front of the castle because the South Stational Parade was about to start, and the cast member was like, "I'm sorry, you can't go through here because we're blocking it off." So I was kind of devastated. But then Peter Pan came out of the area and he was telling the cast member, "I hate it over there, it's so boring." And he saw me, and I was wearing a Peter Pan shirt. It was from Hot Topic, and it says "Never Grow Up," and it has Peter Pan on it. And he saw me, he's like, "Hey, that's me, but on you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Peter Pan." So like the first thing I said was, "Peter, can I take a selfie?" He's like, "Sure." And then we took a selfie, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, my wish came true for this trip. I got to meet Peter Pan." amazing. Throughout the whole summer, I met him 3 more times. Third time I met him, he remembered me, and Philly Pan remembered me, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny and awkward at the same time, because you would never expect Peter Pan or any Disney character to remember you. The third most memorable moment at Disneyland I had was my second to last trip of the summer at Disneyland, and I decided I'm just going to tell all the characters that this is going to be my last time at Disneyland for a while. I went to Buena Vista Street in California Adventure. What's different on Buena Vista Street or California Adventure is that the characters, they dress up like they're in the 1920s. So Mickey Mouse is in like a full like newsy boy costume and everything. I was waiting in line, and by the time it was my turn, I went up to him and was like, Mickey, this might be my last time I get to see you here at California Adventure in a while. I'm moving to China, and he does these hand movements where he just kind of be like, oh my gosh, this is so sad, you know, that kind of thing. And he was like, oh, let's do this pose. So we did this pose, and then he's like, hold on, wait a minute. And then he was like, kiss me like right here. And I was like, oh my gosh, I get to kiss Mickey Mouse. So I kissed Mickey Mouse on the cheek. He gave me like the biggest hug ever, and I was like, oh my gosh, Disney really makes things magical. So those were my 3 most memorable moments at Disneyland. What non-Disney song reminds you or brings back memories of Disney or the parks? This is a tough question because I associate Disney movies and the parks with music, so it's kind of hard to choose a non-Disney song. So I can't answer that question, sorry. When was the first time you went to a Disney park? The first time I went to Disneyland was when I was in 3rd grade, so around 2003 when my family from Hawaii came to visit. And I think we had a 2-day trip, I'm not really sure. If you could choose any Disney character to be your best friend, who would you choose? I think I would choose Mr. Toad from the movie Ichabod Crane and Adventures with Mr. Toad. I think that he is a really funny and adventurous and really cute character, and I would love to go on an adventure with him. But the bad thing is that you could get in so much trouble hanging out with him because he's always getting in trouble and trying new things, and he went to jail, so that's something that you don't want to be involved in. Who are your favorite Disney princesses? Growing up, I really liked Sleeping Beauty for some reason. I think it was because of her singing. I think Sleeping Beauty or Aurora has a really good singing voice, and I really liked when she sang I Wander in the Forest. At the moment, my favorite Disney princess is Merida. I've met her so many times at Disneyland. I think she has the most outgoing and bubbly personality, and every time I hang out with her at Disneyland, it seems like I have the most conversation with her. So Merida is really cool, and she has a really amazing accent. Name a scene or moment in any Disney movie that never fails to make you cry. One moment that never fails to make me cry or make me sad during a Disney movie would be in The Rescuers, after Medusa talked to Penny and told her that nobody would adopt her, and then she went to her room and started praying, and then she starts crying, and then there's a song called, I think it's like Don't Cry Little One or something like that, and it just gets to me all the time because it's just a sad moment of a girl who will never be accepted or never have parents. What is the first Disney movie you remember seeing? I think the first Disney movie I've seen in theaters would have to be between Dinosaurs or Emperor's New Groove. The first Disney movie I've seen on VHS or at home would be between Cinderella or 101 Dalmatians. What is your favorite Disney movie? Peter Pan. Peter Pan is my absolute favorite Disney movie and movie in general. Who is your favorite Disney villain? While growing up, my favorite Disney villain was Maleficent, but I've grown to love Yzma from Emperor's New Groove just because she is really funny. That movie is just hilarious. Yeah, she's just so funny, and then she turns into a cat, a little kitten, and it's just so cute. Spoiler alert for Emperor's New Groove. Sorry. What is your least favorite Disney movie? My least favorite Disney movie would have to be Planes. I saw it when it first came out last year during the summer when I went to go to Hawaii, and we went because my whole family loves Disney, and my cousin, he's actually a pilot, so he loves Disney and he loves the fact that they made a movie about planes. So we went like midnight premiere at 8 o'clock p.m. and we went, and I was just sitting there. I was like, this movie has like no music and it's just kind of like cheap made. Sorry, Disney. But apparently I found out like later on that that movie was supposed to be a straight to DVD movie, so I guess that's why it's pretty bad. But I don't really like that movie at all. What is your favorite Disney song? My favorite Disney love song is So This Is Love from Cinderella. Irene Woods has like the most amazing singing voice I've ever heard, so she just makes the song better. My favorite Disney song in general would have to be When You Wish Upon a Star from Pinocchio. I just really like the chorus, and when like the choir starts singing Faith is kind, she brings to those who loves. I think it's just a really like beautiful song. It makes your heart melt. What Disney character has your personality or your dream personality? My personality trait is INFJ, which is introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging. And Disney had a blog post categorizing personality traits with Disney personalities, and that one said that I was most like Pocahontas, which is kind of interesting because I think Pocahontas is very like outgoing in a way. I also think that I'm kind of like Alice from Alice in Wonderland because I am very curious and I have a wild imagination sometimes, so kind of like Alice. The character who I wish to have as my dream personality would be Merida. I think that she's really outgoing, unlike me, and she's really extroverted, and she's just really active, whereas for me, I could be more active and more outgoing, so Merida. If you could change any scene in a Disney movie, what would it be and why? One thing that like for sure I would like to change would be in Frozen in the beginning, with the backstory of how Elsa got her powers and all that stuff, and why Kristoff was just in the middle of nowhere, and like why doesn't he have parents? Why is it that he and Sven are just in the middle of like a group of guys who like pick ice? Last question. If you had to get stuck on any ride in any Disney park for more than 30 minutes, what would you want it to be? Well, if you have seen in our Disneyland vlog, all four of us, Jade, Michiko, Elisa, and I, were stuck on Peter Pan's flight. I know in the scene where the people are overlooking Neverland and the stars, I know that's made out of like really weird material like paper bags and like hangers. I would not want to get stuck during that part because that part is the most magical part of the ride. But when I did get stuck on that ride, I got stuck on the part where right when you're gonna drop and you see Princess Tiger Lily. So that part was pretty cool because you just see animatronics, which is kind of scary at the same time. If I were to get stuck on a ride that I've never got stuck on before, it would be either Indiana Jones or the Haunted Mansion, because I feel like both of those rides have a lot of things going on in the ride itself. It would be kind of cool to see all the non-magical things that are happening in that ride. So those are my answers for the Disney tag. I hope you liked my answers for all the questions, and I would like to tag Jade and Chico to do this tag so I can see what their answers would be for these questions. I hope you liked this video and stay tuned for more episodes of Chandi Chats. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye.